Hey guys, how's it going? Sam here and welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a really quick video just talking about how I use the Symmetry function in Photoshop to create thumbnails. As this example shows, they are going to be robot mech type designs. Now the actual robots themselves, the subject matter doesn't really matter too much. It's more about the process of using Symmetry to quickly bulk out ideas to show to an art director or to show to another artist to give them an idea of the direction you're heading very quickly. Now I use these at the start of a project where I'm starting from scratch basically, and I think it's really useful to block out a silhouette and really focus on the character design rather than getting bogged down in composition and the anatomy of the character or the clothing. There's less technical skills required to produce these, which means they can be much faster, they can be looser, and I feel like you can end up with some pretty good results. Now, as you can see, I'm using just a standard round brush with the vertical symmetry on. Obviously you can use horizontal or whatever you want to use. And I'm quickly just scribbling in different ideas. They don't need to be polished, they don't need to be clean. It's all about producing something very quickly and as many different designs as you can as possible. So you can see with these designs they're quite humanoid. They tend to have 2 arms, 2 legs, pelvis seems to be located in the right direction. I do tend to push that as it goes on. But the main thing I'm focusing on is how these characters read as a silhouette, as from a distance. Now, if you are going into games design, that is probably going to be very important to you, especially if you're doing character designs, because of the fast-paced nature of a video game. The silhouette of the character needs to read quickly to show you if they are a friend or a foe. This is particularly prevalent in first-person shooters, as an example. You need to know very quickly if you need to shoot at it or move on. So I find they are very useful for that. I feel like you've done a successful job if you can gain some characteristics from the designs when you don't have any of the extras to help you out, such as colour, such as pose or expression, because they can provide a lot of character. How a character is posed changes their character quite a lot, and you don't really have that luxury when you're designing them completely front on. So the negative of that is that you might end up with a slightly boring design. They're never going to look amazing because they are completely flat on, and you don't gain the dynamism of a character posed. But if the character works well as a mirrored symmetrical front on view like this, then it will probably work in a pose, because it's pure design at this point. You are just focusing on your large, medium and small shapes and how they interact with each other. So you'll need to start thinking about shape language and how, like I said, the large, medium and small, you don't want too many small, you don't want too many large. A 70-30 combination works really well. So you'll need to start considering that. You'll need to consider the shapes themselves. You've probably all heard most villains in Disney films are triangles or pointy, and most characters that you tend to see as warm, lovable characters tend to be round. That all needs to be considered when you're designing these characters. One recommendation I would make is, at this stage, don't get too bogged down in details. If you see, I use a large brush quite often which fills in the dark space. I don't work too large because then you end up kind of scratching it in and it takes forever. You want to work really small just to get the basic idea. You can see I'm not zooming in, which I think is really important, because you stop focusing on details, and you don't see me add too much detail to the mechs themselves. So obviously with mech designs you often have nuts and bolts and pipes and all that kind of stuff which adds detail, and I haven't added any of that in because that comes at the next stage. Once you're happy with one of these silhouettes, that's when you can go in with a final line drawing and really start to push them through to a final design. So that is it really. It's just a really quick video just to show you my thoughts on working like this, because I haven't really mentioned it before. and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you do the same thing, if you work different to me, let me know. And let me know what you think of these mech designs as well. I'm actually going to be working on a project based on mechs, so you're going to see more mechs coming up in the future. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys, I will catch you in the next one.